wonderful good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to Police Forum, our exciting and educational show speaking on everything law enforcement. We know we are in Creole Month, so Creole Heritage Month. So, Mercado, moi, ça parle patois, so bonjour pour tout gens soufouye, Jean Soisey. Bienvenue pour Show Police Forum. Show côté nous, ka point temps pour éduquer tout le monde en les sujets qui a dit, et puis matters police côté. Nous avons éduqué le public là à ces là yo supposé faire, ces là yo pas supposé faire, c'est bon la police là qu'a fait en division sous fouillère et puis manière nous ça assister yo à ces situations yo. Loi dit that même si we ignorant of ça ou supposé ou pas supposé faire, ça pas faire esquisse. So it's a travail moins as inspector Rennie in charge of station sous-fouillère so as pour éduquer on laisse là ou supposé et pas supposé faire. Comme je dis bonjour pour tout le monde. Je vais try parler créole because moi lever tête zabiko sous-fouillère côté maman nous et grand-maman moi t'es parler créole so moi t'es qu'à côté so moi l'idée that moi comprendre et puis moi ça parler petit mot parole créole. Si moi fait peste mistake ou ça venir et puis dis-moi ça dans les live là, dis-moi ah ouais, c'est pas comme ça on supposé parler, c'est pas ça mot parole ça supposé dire, c'est comme ça il supposé. On dit nous quand parler à les sujets qui très important quand nous approcher moi ou quand nous moi créole l'année c'était bagaille nous supposé discuter et puis ces gens publics là comme des choses ça là c'est pas juste pour police, mais pour tout le monde qui travaille et puis département police et pour éduquer ces gens à ce qui ça nous supposé faire. Now, moi, ça chaque monde qui a SP pour dimanche le 27 côté yo kay naviguer un pays pour participer en activité, journée créole. Now, et puis chaque manger kay boui. Un chaque manger kay boui et puis l'année monde moi ça l'année c'était bagaille yo pas manger un chaque temps. Et puis, il dit, ouais, c'est un jour pour moi à manger. So, nous parlons moun, while yo ka manger, nous voulons enjoy manger, mais nous parlons c'est moun qui a préparé manger, et quand yo un problème, et puis là, c'est ici. Parce que l'année, c'était bail, mais attendez, mais il y a moun qui poste en les tout status de côté, yo a HB ça, puis HB, et puis a oti ça. Et puis, il boui, pour je ne créole, mais ou supposé ça, l'année, c'était bagaille. Nous pas supposé tuer. Parce que ça, c'est pas la restriction dans les manières où ça, c'est ça, c'est posé, comment c'est posé, ni en position, ça, ou pas, c'est posé. So, on dit, moi, il y a un monde spécial, pour moi, là, on dit, moi, il y a une belle, jolie madame, il bien habillé, what do you have me, Creole. On dit, là, et puis, il a gagné la tellement belle, parce que, il a senti quoi, il flatté. Pas ça, moi, je dis bonjour pour Madame Rita Strong Michel. C'est un fisheries officer, fisheries assistant, qui travaille au département fisheries en Soufouillère, qui est au département agricole. So, bonjour, Madame Rita, bonjour et bienvenue pour Show Police Forum.
Bonjour, Inspecteur René, merci pour nous mettre ici la bonne matière. Merci. Okay. Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour cette ici.
Oh, so Madame Rita, ça parle créole, so ça bon?
Nice try.
Okay. Again, let me first apologize for the late start of the show. Let me humbly apologize. There were some urgent matters that had to be addressed by me at my office. So as a result, that kind of delayed our progress of my being here on time. So let me firstly apologize. Again, let me say a wonderful good morning to the people who make, or listen to the show, all the members of the police or the Soufrière community, my staff at the Soufrière and Choiseul police station. I know this morning they are actively engaged in the preparation of the Creole breakfast and Creole lunch, but that does not mean that they will negate their duties of providing a safe and secure policing for Soufrière. So let me say good morning to them. Let me say good morning to the staff of Choiseul. Let me say good morning to the Office of the Commissioner of Police. A fantastic good morning on the executive of the RSLPF. Let me say good morning to my people on the waterfront, all the staff of Soufrière Foundation, the staff at the Soufrière Taxi Association, the Almond Tree Taxi Association, the manager and staff of Banker St. Lucia, the Ruby's gas station. Let me say good morning to Mistress Donnelly at the Banker St. Lucia. She always supports and encourages the police to support always possible, and I want to thank her and say good morning. Let me say good morning to my guys on the block near the suffragette. Dennis, Graham Zone, Mr. Ryan Revere, Mr. Michael Gustav, Hackman, Egbert Jabatis, all those persons who on a daily basis interact with me and my officers and who provide insight on how best we could make life easier, smoother for everyone. Let me say a fantastic good morning to you. Like I said in my introduction, I have a very energetic and exciting guest here today who will be discussing and speaking of matters of importance as we are approaching the Creole Month, or as we are in the Creole Month and approaching the hosting of Journée Creole. We need to have important discussions on some of the things we can and cannot do. And I think sometimes they say, the law says that not knowing is not an excuse. So it is important that we educate you. And with me, I have Mistress Rita Strawn Michelle from the Department of Fisheries. She's a fisheries officer. And she will speak to us today on the Fisheries Act. We know that there will be quite a bit of culinary activities over the weekend. From today, coming on my way to work, I could see a number of persons already established the tents and the booths and preparing foods, Creole foods, and I know some of us are looking forward to that. But there are certain things that we must ensure that we don't in any way violate the law when we are doing or engaging our sales and our consumption of our Creole food. So let me say good morning. Welcome, Mistress Rita Strawn Michelle. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Police Forum.
Thank you, Mr. Rennie. Thank you, Inspector Rennie. Like I said earlier, thank you for having me on the Police Forum, and we coin it fisheries business.
Yes, today is about fisheries business. Fantastic.
So I would like to say a warm good morning to the Ministry of Agriculture, specifically the Department of Fisheries, my colleagues, and all the partnering agencies. Like Inspector Rennie alluded to, Journée Creole is round the corner, and we would like to enlighten the public on what is in our Fisheries Act, the law of St. Lucia. So this morning we're going to make a few points on the sea turtle fishery, the lobster fishery, the process for an import license for importing conch into St. Lucia. We're going to speak a little bit on marine reserves, sea urchins, and we'll see what else comes up.
So as we could see, we have a quite packed morning, and unfortunately, we started a little late, which has really, really encroached on our dialogue time. And all that says is that Mr. Strawn Michelle will be happy to come back, and if we don't have
always
enough time
a pleasure
to continue this discussion, because we believe those things are important. We believe that people sometimes don't understand why certain decisions are taken and why we want to control the harvesting, we want to control the size, we want to control the timing of the harvesting. Those things are primarily so that our children and grandchildren can enjoy what we are enjoying now, in that they are able to see, the sea turtles, and they are able to, we are able to enjoy the sea urchin, enjoy lobster. If we don't engage in sustainable fishing
practices,
then eventually we will, deplete our resource, and that will cause major problem for persons within the fisheries sector.
Correct.
Fishermen who enjoy and depend on that to survive and feed their family. But before we go into the heart of our discussion, can you tell us who is Rita? I'm sure the listening public would like to know who is Rita. So let us know who Rita is.
Okay. I am no stranger. I was born and raised in Soufrière, Market Road, Soufrière. I have been attached to the Department of Fisheries for the last 18 years. I started as a fisheries data collector. Now I am a fisheries assistant for the last 12 years. Of recent, I got qualified as a fisheries biologist.
Wow, fantastic. Congratulations.
Yes, um, completing my studies in natural resources and environmental management with the University of the West Indies, Cayville Compass, Barbados. So I have been in the fisheries sector. I cherish. I do my job with a passion. I like to represent my fishers wholeheartedly, as I am a registered fisher as well, and I do fish.
Wow.
Yes.
You,
So let's
you'll have to
say
take me.
Akadi.
You'll have to take me on a fishing trip with you one of these days,
Of course,
Rita.
you can be a crew. So I engage in fishing. So as much as I may um, be with them, I know their struggles because I go out near shore, deep sea. So I am with my fishers. I have them wholeheartedly. Um, yes, so that's me. That's me in a nutshell.
All right, fantastic. And I always say, this show is not just to speak about the law, but it's also an opportunity to showcase our talent and our people. And Mrs. Strawn Michelle just spoke of her origin. She is from Market Road, born and raised, and then having joined the fisheries sector, and now having completed her studies in marine, in certain aspect of marine
Resource
biology, resource
management,
management.
yes.
It just shows for every boy and girl from Soufrière that we have quite a bit of talent, quite a bit of experience, quite a bit of expertise within our beautiful town, and that every child should strive. It's not about being a member of a gang and being a member, but you too can be our next marine biologist. You could be our next commissioner of police. You could be our next, doctor, lawyer, because we have right before us people who have had from humble beginnings and today are representing us at the highest level. So let me just take the opportunity to congratulate you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Michelle, on
Thank
your
you.
accomplishments. I know this is just the start for you because
Yes.
you look like you are
I
so full of
have-
energy and passion that
I have to go
we
further.
may just have the next chief fisheries officer from Soufrière. So those are things that inspire our young people.
Yes.
So we must always shout it out.
Yes.
We must let them know that they have the opportunity and they too can be an accomplished.
And they can make a difference.
They can make a difference.
They
yes.
can make a difference. Actually, I got the offer from SERMIS, University of West Indies, and it's all because of projects I have worked on in the region. Persons know me and whatnot. So I was offered. I accepted.
Fantastic. So you see,
I
when you do
accepted.
good things follow, the law of
Yes.
attraction. So you have put your heart and soul into your work, your passion, and as a result, your name is throughout the length of breadth and breadth of the region. So
Yes.
this is excellent. This is excellent stuff. This is fantastic stuff. But tell us, what drove you into the fisheries sector and fisheries department? How did you start? You said you started as a
A fisheries data
Yes.
collector.
Was it by chance or was it something you were always passionate about? What happened?
I think being involved in the community work and at the time liaising with certain persons at the fisheries cooperative, I was told of the opening.
Okay.
So I applied and I was accepted. I was given the job and here I am today.
So
And my job has taken me all over the world to represent St. Lucia. And whenever I get the opportunity to represent my country, I do that as an ambassador.
Fantastic. And I tell people that the profession, when you do your work well, you get the opportunity to, travel the world. I tell people, as a police officer, I have travels to so many places that, I never anticipate, when I joined the service that I would have been there.
It's true.
You know,
It's
and
true.
prior to me being a police officer, I worked at the bank, and people ask you, would you do it again? Would you make the same? And I say, yes. If I were given the opportunity again, I would do it the exact same way, because the job of a police officer is so interactive. It's so dynamic. It is so out there. You not one day is a boring day for you,
No.
and if a day is boring for you because you're lazy, because
Yes.
there is so much that you can go out and do, because you are you're not stuck up in the office. You are out interacting with the
On the
public.
field.
And I'm
Yes.
sure this is the same thing with
Yes,
you,
same,
Rita,
same. I mean, you go out, you make friends, you meet with other persons from fisheries divisions in the region. I've been to as far as Fiji, Korea, and 8 years, 9 years, we still connect.
Yes.
If there is something that I need clarification on, I budge my colleague in Dominica or St. Vincent. Hey, how do you do that? Have y'all encountered that? How did y'all do it? We build partnerships. Well, that's me, Bubbly Rita. Eh? So
and
wherever I go, I leave my mark.
Because it's the passion.
Yes.
Passion. There must be passion, and like you said, whenever you represent your country,
I do that like an ambassador.
At the highest level. And,
Yes.
I am happy that I am able to meet and interact with you, because this is the same energy that I share and passion I share for my work. And
Yes.
it is important that everybody, anything you do, and I tell my staff every day that, as much as you may not or may not want to be a police officer tomorrow, right? And you may decide that you will retire or resign tomorrow. Even on the last day of work,
do it
perform
well.
your duties as if it's the first day.
Yes.
So that when you leave, you are missed. People will say, where is Rita? If Rita was there, if Rennie was there, then So that is the passion you must have for everything, because the reality is, when you move on tomorrow, your former boss may be called upon to say, hey, do you know Rita? She has applied for a position. What kind of person was she?
True.
And if now you're giving the boss a hard time, now is the boss' opportunity to get back at you. And say, you know what? Yeah, she's not ready.
Pain.
Yeah, she's not ready.
She's difficult. She's toxic.
Yeah,
I have a colleague of mine in Japan right now, and he sent me a voice note a couple days ago telling me, I thought you were only how did he say it? I thought you were only famous in St. Lucia, but every professor that I've met in Japan, Rita-san.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So you don't get to be a queen in your town or country, but out there, you are.
Definitely.
You are.
Definitely.
Yes.
So we've spoken a lot about, now we have to get to the meat of the matter. So tell us about, what is the Fisheries Act, Rita?
The Fisheries Act, it is the legislation and regulation that governs what we do as part of our job. And in there's a number of sections that would guide us, give us clarity, conditions as to what it speaks to, different species, marine reserves, fishing licenses, what is needed for a foreign license, and that kind of thing.
So definitely, so I read onto the act. It says it's an act to make the provisions for the promotion and regulation of fishing and fisheries in the fisheries water of St. Lucia and commercial waters. So basically, I guess it encompasses all of what you spoke about.
Yes.
And sometimes I see, our ordinary man, they don't understand, how an important role they play to the food security of this country.
The fishers do.
And the commercial and economic survival of this country. They see it as they grew up from Barron's Drive, they grew up from Market Road, they grew up, and their father was a fisherman, and naturally but they don't understand how much they support, the life and the food security of this country. So just can you expound on that, in terms of the important role that fishers play to our, national, security. And when you speak of national security, that incorporates food security, the blue economy and all those different fancy things that we hear about.
Yes. I think you've said it all, but then just to reiterate, our fisher folk, they play a vital role in securing food providing for consumption for the public. I mean, they go out there very early in the morning and they bring back the proteins and nutrients that we would need for the family, for the hotels, for the restaurants, for the nation. So, without a doubt, those fisher folk, they serve an integral, a huge purpose in country.
Yes.
Without them,
Definitely, because I mean, not everybody eat the meats, and we are vegan. We are persons who want to stay away from all the fatty foods, and they would want something more, natural.
fishy,
Yes.
natural,
So
yes.
they want to enjoy the fish, and that is important. That is
Yes.
important. It gives us options that hey, you don't have to depend on chicken and the beef and the pork all the time, and that there is healthy, naturally caught fish,
Fresh
fresh,
fish.
not those that are
Frozen
farm
and
those are
brought
frozen.
in, yes.
Yeah, and that is important. So, our fishermen are quite important
They
to
are.
our, economic survival as a town and as a country. And it adds some flair to our town also, when you pass around.
Tradition.
Yeah, the tradition. When you hear the conch shell and it's, there's
Poisson.
poisson,
Poisson.
and then, people come out and see what is being sold, whether it's the marshoin or whether it's the sardine or whether it's the gokiliu or the tikiliu
The
or the
tweet.
tweet or
Yes.
whether, that kind of thing. So yeah, so you're always excited. I too, I go fishing sometimes, and I enjoy this the relaxation that comes with spending time with yourself.
Yeah.
Fishing and spend time with friends. So it has so many benefits, the fishing sector, from not just a commercial but also from a recreational perspective, where you go and you do some fishing. You spend time with friends, have a beer while you're doing it, chat.
Yeah.
That is very important. But today I know we are here to speak about the core of the matter, which is we are in Creole month, and we know that Sunday we will be getting quite a bit of delicacies of our wild foods, of our
Yes.
indigenous foods being prepared. So we want you to educate the public on some of the do's and don'ts and what exactly they can and cannot and should not prepare.
So should not prepare sea urchins on Sunday. We recently conducted a survey and the populations were very low. So with that information, the department took a decision that they're not going to open the sea urchin season this year.
So the sea urchin season is
It's
it's
closed.
Wow. So and then we have also, I know we have the crayfish.
The crayfish is a no-no.
Yeah.
The crayfish is a no-no, and I could make reference to that in the Fisheries Act. For the crayfish, a person shall not disturb, remove from the rivers of St. Lucia, expose for sale, purchase, or at any time have in his or her possession any eggs taken from freshwater stream or crayfish. It is clear. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
And does it speak about the penalty for that? Because it's important people understand.
The penalty, I believe, it's not stated on for the crayfish, but I think it is $5,000.
Wow. So
Yes, I stand corrected, but the fine could lead up to $5,000 per offense.
wow. So I mean, $5,000 in them hard times is pretty much a high amount, and you will not want to put yourself through the stress
At all.
and difficulty of trying to find $5,000 because you had you had that taste for wanting crayfish.
Yes.
And even the vendors, people who are going to vend, you have to be careful because the little money you'll make over the weekend there will not amount to $5,000 profit that you could afford just to give away to the state.
At all.
So it is important that we understand that crayfish in particular, and it's sad to hear that because I grew up as a little boy from Etangs, running down the river and catching some crayfish, catching them, the zequibish and the gouage and the zoclo and those things, and being able to come back home and do some crayfish on a jot crayfish with green figs,
yes.
But again, I guess everything has to do with how we've overfished those items, and two,
and how it is caught.
Yeah.
So we want to protect that of the human.
Yes.
So on the section 37, it is clear. And it speaks of water shrimp, freshwater shrimp, or crayfish. It is clear that a person shall not.
Yeah. So the crayfish is a no-no for
It's a
some of
no-no
us.
for Sunday.
And the worst, not just for Sunday, because it's completely,
Yes.
yeah, there is no open
Yes.
season
No
for
open
that.
season for
both the
crayfish.
crayfish and the urchin.
No.
And what we have seen in the past is persons use some of the most, dangerous methods of harvesting crayfish. They go up the river and they pour whatever noxious
Chemical or whatever,
chemical
yeah.
into the water, killing everything in its path,
Yeah.
from the adult crayfish to the baby crayfish to the fish that they don't want. So the Millet and the Atkinson and the tilapia that may be there, they're killing everything. And that now, I guess it is those practices over the years that have really significantly depleted our numbers, because
Yeah.
when you go upstream and you pour whatever chemical in the water and you kill even the baby, what will be there to continue the reproduction of those animals, so, or those fishes? So that's things we need to understand as people, that you cannot just merely go and just pour chemical in and then see how you, an individual, because of your selfish needs, is causing an environmental catastrophe that your children and grandchildren will not be able to know what a crayfish is like.
Or
right?
even see what it's
Yeah,
like. And like you made mention of upstream, we need to be cognizant that what happens upstream
Flows
affects us
downstream.
down on the reef.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that too. So those chemicals,
Whatever
now,
chemicals that you would use, it comes on the stream, it compromises the water quality, heads down to the river, then to the sea.
and most of our water supply comes from where? The water catchments, which come from where? The rivers.
Upstream,
So
the rivers.
we now are even putting our lives in danger by using those chemicals upstream, contaminating our waters, on the island. So
Yes.
we spoke about the sea urchin, and the turtle, which is a no-no, and that the fines
No.
are
The crayfish, we spoke of the crayfish and the sea urchins.
Yes. So now because we know both the turtle season and the lobster season are open.
Right.
Can you tell us what period are they open until?
For the lobster season would close on August 1st.
August 1st. Okay. August 1st. No, August 1st next year.
Next year.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Right. So it opened March 1st. It opened February 28th, sorry. And it will close August 1st.
So no. It's closed right now then?
Lobster season is not closed right now.
No.
So we have a problem.
Yes. So I think.
Yes.
I know it's open until I think February, from my knowledge, somewhere around there.
It opens February 28th, 2024 to August 1st, 2024. We seem to have a problem.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Okay, we'll verify.
We'll verify that. So under section 32, the Fisheries Regulations Cap 7.15 of the revised laws of St. Lucia 2013, no person shall harm, give, receive from anyone, and at any time have in his possession, exposed for sale or purchase, any lobster that is undersized, any lobster that is carrying eggs, or any lobster that is molting. No person shall remove the eggs from a lobster or have in his possession or sell, purchase a lobster from which the eggs have been removed. As resource management personnel, we can detect when eggs have been removed from the lobster.
Oh, okay.
A lobster should not be spared, hooked, or attempt to spare a lobster. That is against the law. The take home for specifically Sunday and moving forward for the general public is that Undersized lobsters are lobsters less than 9.5 centimeters in carapace length. So from the ridge at the base of the horns to the end of the carapace, the back shell, this should be 9.5 centimeters. If the tail of the lobster has been removed, a tail weight of less than 12 ounces is what is allowed. Failure to comply with these requirements can lead to a fine up to $5,000 per offense.
So when you say per offense, so if I have 5 undersized lobsters in my possession, each one is an offense.
Each one is an offense
So
because you have undersized
So that's
lobsters.
$25,000 I can be fined.
And if they're carrying eggs, that's another offense. If they're molting, that's another offense.
Wow.
If they were sped, I mean, we
Yes.
can see it's visible, the hole in the back or wherever, we know it was sped. So that is an offense.
Wow.
So when you're buying your lobsters, make sure that is the legal size, 9.5 centimeters.
Yeah, so even you buying that lobster and you are caught with it in your possession, you are committing an offense.
Yes, you
even
are.
though you were not the one who harvested it. So it's important that we understand that as we are going out, some of us, we are looking for the best deal. So we want to eat lobster, but we don't want to buy a big lobster because it's 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 or $100. So we're going to take the smallest one. But you should understand that if it is below the 9 centimeter length, that you should not purchase it because you yourself are facilitating the commission of the crime.
Right.
So it is important that everybody understand what they should or should not do.
So just to correct what I said earlier, lobster season open on the 1st of August.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it will close on the 28th
of February.
of February.
Yes. I think that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where there was a miscommunication.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I got my dates.
A little. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So right now, guys, the season is open, so you could enjoy your lobster, but enjoy it responsibly.
Yes.
The size, length, weight. Those know what you.
And
are.
I mean, it's not that the Department of Fisheries or the government of St. Lucia wants to be hard on anybody, but it's for sustainable practices, for allowing the lobsters to reproduce, for future generations to enjoy, for our fishers' livelihood can be sustained and maintained. So all of these things we're trying to put in place for what I just mentioned.
Fantastic. I just say good morning. Let me say good morning to Thekla Rennie. My sister saying good morning, everyone. I think Joan Alexander is saying Miss Michelle on the microphone. Are we having a problem with the mic, Rita? I'm not sure.
Hello?
I think your mic should be on.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So it's important that we understand those rules and regulations so that we understand that it's about sustainable fishery and
Yes.
practices, that we want to ensure that there are always lobsters there for us to enjoy, our children, our grandchildren to enjoy. I know also we have the turtle season that is open.
Yes,
And
and will close open on October 1st and will close at midnight, December 31st, 2024. Under Section 33 of the Fisheries Act, fishers are only permitted to capture hawksbill turtles weighing 60 pounds or more, green or loggerhead turtles weighing 75 pounds or more. The slaughtering of sea turtles are prohibited in public and open areas. The sparing of sea turtles are prohibited. I am taking my time to read it so persons understand. The capture of leatherback turtles are prohibited. The holding of sea turtles as pets are prohibited. Taking or consuming of sea turtle eggs are prohibited. The sale or export of all produce made from turtle shells or its byproducts is prohibited as regulated on the Convention for International Trade in Endangered Species of Flora and Fauna, CITES. It restricts the trade of turtle produce. Same as I mentioned for the lobster, failure to comply with these requirements can lead to fines up to $5,000 per offense. The department urges the cooperation of the public to report anyone or any establishment contravening those regulations. You can either report it to Marine Police, the district police stations, Prudhoe Larceny, or even the fisheries department. The fisheries department, we continue to monitor activities island-wide as we take calls, turtle nestings, we make records, we keep the data on the different beaches on the island. Persons would call Yvonne Edwin or the department, and we would keep those records. It's always good to collect data that we know on island where those turtles and which turtles, if we can identify, came up to lay and keep a record.
Right. And I saw that you took your time out, to really emphasize on
Yes.
that. Because, again, ignorance of the law is no excuse, but we are educating the members of the public, and we want to make sure that they understand the do's and don'ts, because those are important part of our, sector, that we must try to do everything within our powers. I mean, when I travel to Barbados, it's interesting to see how important the turtle, is to the Barbados fisheries sector, in that you are given the option to swim with the turtle, snorkel with the turtle, feed the turtle, and that, when you go on a sunset cruise or a boat tour, you could see the turtles coming and you are able to swim with them.
Canal Bay, yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
This is something we may even have to consider as part of our fisheries, of our tourism product. Do we create an environment where we could swim and allow the children and the foreigners to be able to enjoy that experience? Because you would understand that there are people who come from Europe or North America, Canada, who has never been given the opportunity, or have never really had that opportunity to interact with a live sea turtle in the wild. And I think that could even add some flair and dynamic to our tourism product. So, those are the things we need to follow to make sure that there is always that, that experience for our children, our grandchildren, and even our visitors on island.
Turtle fishing is a tradition.
Yes.
It's traditional.
Yes.
However, we advise, we guide persons to do these, conduct these fishing activities sustainably for the same reasons I made mention before. As a country, we sign on to different parties and treaties. So persons may be up in arms. Why they're not closing the fisheries, the fisheries season, and the fisheries fishing, but we have to understand
Yes.
that we sign on to different treaties, parties. We are part of different organizations, turtle fisheries tradition, but we just want to let the public know that they need to follow the conditions that are enshrined in the law in order for sustainable practice.
Definitely.
And proper consumption. Nobody should be selling dead turtle meat. It's like selling a dead cow. And then we have environmental health that we want to take a look, and blah 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 blah. So the public, my dear fishers, adhere to the conditions. In couple years ago, my best friend in Canaries, I took him to court
Wow.
with the help of the Canaries police station.
And it just shows you how
for
serious. It shows you how
a
serious.
sea turtle, my
this lady-
friend.
how serious this lady is about her job. So don't mess, guys. She will, enforce the law of this country. Wow, look at the time, Rita. It's already 11, and I
No,
know
no,
you
no
know.
worries, no worries.
I know you have another appointment
Up north,
up
yes.
north. But we want to highlight, even that guys, as we go out and we enjoy our Juneke, all that, we don't engage in dangerous practices that could land us in jail. Even you're not a forestry officer, but I know the money coup that
Mm-hmm.
some of us are looking forward, and I'm already seeing people posting statuses of them catching and preparing money coup for the weekend. It is also a protected species. The iguana, our green iguana, also the agouti, all those animals are protected. And if you are, you should not in any way endanger those animals. So everyone is being asked to just ensure that we enjoy our Creole weekend, but we enjoy it responsibly. Rita, there is so much we need to talk about. Um,
The
yes,
conch.
yes, and we have the conch lobby that which has become so popular now. I
Yes.
see, everywhere you pass, there's all kind of lambi, green lambi, and let me big up Galbach, one of the best lambi preparation in Soufre. The restaurant where you could get today on a Friday, I could show you if you go by Galba, you will enjoy some nice lambi, green lambi, Suskai, and I think it has the sauce, I'm trying to remember
Cream
the
sauce.
cream sauce,
Yes.
but again, the harvesting and importation of the Queen Kong or the lambi. Can you tell us a little about that and the importation especially?
Yes. So we have communities in St. Lucia that would be engaged in Queen Kong fishing. Just to name a few, Labrie, Groselet are the main sites for those fishing fish species. So persons, I need to just let you know that in the Fisheries Act, it makes provision for obtaining an import license, and a number of things are required. But before I go to the requirements, I will tell you that an application needs to be completed using the Assicuda database, of which is managed by Customs and Excise. Yes. Once the application is uploaded online, the Department of Fisheries, we have the admin staff, the deputy chief fisheries officer, and other designated persons within our department would review the application as part of the approval process. The application is so it's completed and it's reviewed by a number of agencies before the approval is given. Once these requirements, and I will tell you what the requirements are, for you to be given an import permit / license, you need to have a copy of the invoice from the supplier. So if you're going to bring in conch from St. Vincent, your supplier over there need to give you a copy of the invoice to state how much conch, blah, 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 blah. You also need a health certificate, a sanitary certificate from the exporting country. So we will make reference to St. Vincent, as I mentioned before. And the health certificate is just to say that the conch, the fish species, is safe for human consumption. For some controlled species, example, the conch, what we call lubby, a CITES permit from the country of origin, which would be St. Vincent in this case, would be needed. So when all of that is uploaded into Assicuda, your requirements are met, your import permit is generally issued. In some instances, the Department of Fisheries would consider the local availability of the conch before giving approval. So we may say, okay, well, that person has 400 pounds in Labrie, we will allow 200 pounds to come in, and we'll advise go to Labrie and purchase from Mr. Tommy or somebody. So, yes, requirements, I will tell you again, copy of the invoice from the supplier, whichever country you will be bringing it in from, a health certificate, and that is just to say that it is safe for human consumption. The species that you'll be bringing in is safe for human consumption. Um, as it relates to lobby, it falls under the CITES. So a CITES permit would be required from the country that you're bringing it in. So, in a nutshell, that is what it is for importing any fish, conch outside of St. Lucia.
All right, fantastic. And just listening to you, Marisha, it's not a difficult process.
No.
But what I have seen, in my policing experience is some of us, we are so bent on doing things our way in this place that we believe that we could rush to St. Vincent on a boat, import 1,000 pounds of lumber that you buy maybe between, $7 and $10 per pound in St. Vincent, and try to come back here without those documents. So you've invested somewhere between 7 and 10,000, sometimes more, right? And those basic things that would cost you less than $200 or much less, you don't get them before you depart St. Lucia. You don't clear customs because you feel, boy, let me just rush down and come back. And then now our Coast Guard, which is a very, 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 very efficient Coast Guard, intercepts you with 1,000 pounds of lumber and asks you to present your documents. You have spent $500 or more in gas. You have your time. You have spent $10,000 of your hard-earned money to pay that supplier in St. Vincent, right? And you are coming back. And with those documents, if you cannot present it to the Coast Guard officer, every single conch will be seized from you. And you will be fined by the Fisheries Department and fined by the Customs Department, right, for illegal importation of those items.
Same for jackfish.
Right? And that the customs may even decide that at some point they may apply for the forfeiture of your vessel because you are engaged in illegal importation, right? And that now you have lost so much for something that costs less than $500. I'm just saying because I know those things will cost more than $100.
Yeah.
Right? And the simple things, but some of us are so bent on doing things the wrong way. That we don't see the need why we must do that. St. Vincent is just that. I could do that in 2 hours, 1 hour to 1 hour to come back, and we just take the risk. We want to go over the cover, under the cover of darkness. There's nothing you could do it broad daylight as long as you have your documents. Right. You could do it broad daylight. You don't have to go there midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning and you believe the Coast Guard will intercept you. Of course, the Coast Guard will intercept you because it's their job to patrol, at 2 o'clock in the morning. Waters. And I know they have access and resources that can detect you no matter what time you leave. So don't take the chance and, risk your investment. Your dad bought you a boat or your father left you a vessel and it passed on to you and you feel that's what you want to engage in. So we just want to ask person ensure that we do things the right way. Yeah. So that at the end of the day, the Fisheries Department is aware of what is happening. We have an understanding of what is coming in. Our people are not exposed to dangerous, practices where foods that are not being cleared by the Ministry of Health is imported and then, that is sold at Junior Creole and multiple persons get sick because, the bad practices were applied in importation of those items. So, we want to just employ each and every person to go out and enjoy the Creole weekend, but do it in a responsible manner. Know what you are supposed to do. Know what you are not supposed to do. Because the police, the Ministry of the Fisheries Department, the Ministry of Health will be out in full force during this weekend to ensure that, people comply and they are not violation of our regulations and that everyone can enjoy their food safely, right? We could enjoy our Creole foods and that our health sector does not become overburdened Monday with persons who have been exposed to bad cooking and, preparation practices, and that, we all can just enjoy the Creole month and, enjoy our food that we are so longing for over the weekend. All right, so Rita, I know it is 11:10. We are 10 minutes over our time. Any last words by you as we get ready to, end this program. I know you really enjoying it.
I will
I
be
could see
back,
the
and
smile
I
on your
hope
face.
I will be invited in the future.
Oh yes, that is
Um,
what Police Forum is there for.
yes, just to make mention, the public, be mindful. Fishers, be very um, ecosystems towards as it relates to fishing for the turtle fishery, the lobster fishery, and all fishery as it pertains to the fisheries sector. Um, Before I leave, let me just say something. A person or a local vessel that is engaged in fishing should apply for a local fishing license. If you are extracting from the resource, you need to meet the law. So a local fishing vessel shall not be used for fishing or related activities in fishery water without a valid license issued under section 11 for the respective vessel. An application for a fishing license shall be made in the prescribed form to the minister. It will be done by an extension officer, myself, or any of my colleagues from the unit, submitted to the chief fisheries officer for review and signature. That is not a tedious process because we're trying to safeguard and regulate what goes in and out of our waters. So if you are fishing and you've not been licensed with the Department of Fisheries, or if you've not come to see me, or not specifically Soufrière, but anywhere in St. Lucia, Choiseul, Labrie, Gros-Islet, Castries, and Slurry, please do so. Please comply. Get your vessel license because you are extracting from the marine environment. With that said, I want to wish everybody well. Bon Fête Creole. Eat responsibly, fish responsibly, think of the future in fisheries business.
Just pour supporter ça de la Rita, ou just parler about licencier ces bateaux
Oui.
pêcheurs. Ça important, pas puisque ou comprend ou you just really savent that qu'il est qu'à pêcher, mais c'est important because nous just experience Hurricane Beryl.
Oui.
Et quand chaque pêcheur sur fouille, des problèmes l'âme mais à aller puis bateau yo. Et le gouvernement présent quand a assisté ces monde ça là et puis ba yo anticiper ba l'argent pour ça gagner un bateau neuf. Et mais si ou pas un système non, ou pas enregistré, qui laisse si ça vous dans bâtiment, qui laisse ça vous dans canou.
Also, we are encouraging persons, crew captains, matelot, as they would say it, to get registered as a fisherman. It's a seamless process. It is done, an application is filled by the extension officer, the relevant information is being filled out, and you will be issued an ID upon approval. It's only $40. I mean, we've seen instances where persons got a slap on the wrist, and it's only because that they were registered fishers, and at the time they were in possession of their fisher IDs in other countries.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so it is important that we do those things. It's important that because it's a partnership. The fisheries department with the fishermen is a partnership that you support the fisheries department so that there's proper records, proper accountability, and it's for you so that they could make the relevant representation on your behalf.
On your behalf, yes.
Look for those concessions and look for those other benefits that can be given, those grants and stuff that can be given to the fishers, so that if you now, are organized as fishermen, you will enjoy some of the benefits. So with that, let me say thank you so very much, Rita. There is so much more that needs to be discussed.
Yes.
But we will be back, and definitely God willing, to be back on this fantastic Police Forum show where we educate, and this is the best police show, throughout the region.
I know, right?
This is the best show, so let me thank you for being here. And it's people like you that make this show so exciting, so informative, so educational. So let me thank you for being here. Let me wish you also a bon fête Creole.
Merci.
Enjoy your Creole weekend. Don't overdo it, but enjoy it. Unfortunately, I will be on the ground doing some hard work. So I will be in the Monipo area on that day. Can I
Okay.
drive around and enjoy my Bix and my Aqua and my Tui, but it is what it is. This is what the job requires. So thank you very much for being here, and it was a pleasure. Let me employ the public to continue to listen to Police Forum, continue to support the Soufriere Police and the RSLPF. If you know something, say something. Contact the crime tip line 555. If you see something, we all are responsible for our civil security. The police, and I will always emphasize as my catchphrase, the public is the police, and the public and the police the public. We must work in tandem to create a safer environment for the people of this country. So if you know something, say something. Contact the crime tip line on 555 or use the crime app on iOS or on Android devices. Provide information, because at the end of the day, tomorrow it could be you or a family member who becomes a victim of crime, and you would want somebody, if they know something, to say something. So thank you very much, and looking forward to the next Police Forum. Fantastic. Have a fantastic Junior Creole weekend. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.